What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Defy the System. We got the back test that we were looking for exactly. We actually wicked down just a little bit below it, which is completely fine and bullish. We talked about when we were talking about this breakout all the way back here. I talked about how if we got rejected, we might see a swing low down here somewhere. So this is just a healthy swing low, even though we wicked below this level a little bit. We wanted to see this get turned into support. And then the price action very closely followed what we were expecting to make a move up towards about 18 cents. So right now we're in the thick of it. We're in that resistance that we were talking about. So let's see how this continues to play out. It is worth noting that our volume is down from over 400 million to about 315 million right now. So I don't think that's cause for huge concern. I think it's just part of the fact that we are in this resistance zone. And we knew this was going to be resistance. So this is still fine. We're still bullish right now. We have a really healthy uptrend of higher highs, higher lows, these nice swing highs and swing lows. We wicked above this swing high a little bit, and I'm not convinced that this is a swing high. I think that we're probably going to see a wick above this level before we come down and set our true swing low. So the most bullish scenario is going to be if we have our swing low anywhere within this area. We don't want it to fall below this previous swing low right here. So if we have a swing low fall below this guy right here, then we're gonna have a little bit of a correction, obviously. So let's see what happens. I'm expecting us to continue to make a push, probably wick above this 18-cent level, and then we want to have a nice healthy swing low anywhere above this breakout zone that we talked about when we were expecting this breakout of about 0.15 cents. And we need that swing low to be above that level. However, if we fall below it, which is very possible because Bitcoin, we talked about before, is looking very weak. So Bitcoin volatility absolutely could pull us down and stifle our momentum, and that's fine. Just look at those as accumulation opportunities. Like I said, my main buy zones are down here, 0.11703, 0.09739, 0.07776, with the heaviest buy being down here, second heaviest here, and then the light buy right here. That's why it gets from light green to dark green. The darker the green, the bigger the buy for me. And so I also have added some more light purchases within this area, just because I don't have a ton of faith in Bitcoin. So, it wouldn't be a terrible idea to add, some really light buys. 0.14874, 0.14075, 0.13088, and 0.12054. I think those would be some good areas to set some limit orders for as well, in case Bitcoin throws some volatility at us. We could accumulate a little bit more. So you guys obviously are probably familiar with dollar cost average. So I would do something like 20 bucks here, 50 bucks here, 100 bucks here, 200 bucks here. And then my heavier buy zones are going to be like 1,000 here, 2,000 here, 5,000 here. And that will make for an excellent dollar cost average. So that's what I'm looking at right now. We talked about how with the Bitcoin volatility, we could see something like, maybe a reverse head and shoulders where we start to peak down in these levels and break down and fall down. So like I said, just if you guys are using something like Coinbase, I recommend you switch to Binance. The fees are so much cheaper, and you're going to save a lot of money on the fees, and it's just easier to use with set and limit orders, in my opinion. So I have a link in the description where you guys can sign up for an account if you guys are tired of paying for expensive Coinbase fees. Absolutely bullish. We're still good. We're looking like one of the strongest coins right now in the market. Bitcoin What I talked about in previous videos is we want to see Bitcoin get above at least this 50 level on the RSI. And so what will probably happen is, when we get to this level or above it, it's probably going to be resistance. So you guys know I'm not too confident in Bitcoin right now. I will be once we see this momentum pick up, but we've been in this downtrend on the RSI. We had this bearish divergence of lower highs, lower lows as we were going up here. So this was obviously a warning sign that we were losing momentum, that we were becoming weak. And then especially whenever we peak down this 50 level, that's a big warning sign. So this bounce that we got right here, this would have been a great time to sell if you were holding Bitcoin, because of this warning sign of falling below the 50 and then getting that nice bounce. Once you saw that bounce and then saw it start to want to come back below the 50, that is a huge sell signal. So what I think we could potentially see with Bitcoin is resistance on this 50 level or just above it. And then if we do get rejected somewhere, anywhere below 48,000 to 45,000, any of this zone could reject us. If we get rejected and we can't flip 48,000 into support, what we're going to want to look for to gauge the strength and turnaround is something I really like to look for that you see a lot is like a inverse head and shoulders pattern on the RSI. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So this range that we had right here, you would have been able to see this explosive move coming. If you were looking at the RSI, you had this, and you see this a lot on the RSI where you'll see a low, a lower low, and then a higher low. And I like to think of it as just a simple head and shoulders pattern because it's easier to conceptualize for me. So I'll show you what I mean. Anywhere, this movement over here, these are both higher lows. I'm sorry, that just happened. Let me fix that real quick. So shoulder, left shoulder, head with that extreme low right there. And then both of these are higher lows, which is showing us strength. So if you would have been looking at the RSI, you would have seen this turnaround coming. And if we get rejected, like it's looking probable that we are going to get rejected anywhere between 45 to 48,000 with Bitcoin, what I'm going to be looking for is that type of pattern where, we might see the RSI come up here, get rejected, fall below, try to take another crack at 50 probably, and then really start to tumble as everyone realizes what's happening. And then we want to look for a pattern like that, reverse head and shoulders forming on the RSI, ultimately resulting in a push above the 50 level and then flipping it into support. And then once that happens and we start setting higher highs, higher lows on the RSI and staying above 50, that's when we're going to start blasting off. That's what I'm looking for, a potential rejection and a dump, or basically a rejection, a small crash, another crack at trying to get above it. If we get rejected again, we're going to see a pretty heavy sell-off, I think. And then we're going to look for this kind of like inverse head and shoulders pattern to form. And we really want to see a new uptrend of higher highs, higher lows on the RSI above the 50 level. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us range for 6 to 12 months like that, where we're just kind of moving sideways, mostly in a downtrend until we finally start showing some recovery. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And I'm looking for it to take place in this area. Now, that's not to say we might not wick below a little bit, and this would ultimately be the best pricing for alts and Bitcoin, and anything you can buy if Bitcoin wicks below here. But I think a majority of the price action will be in this zone, and I think it could take 6 to 12 months. But I just really don't buy that it's going to be as predictable as everyone thinks, and everyone's going to be able to get out just fine, right on time, right on schedule. I think things are changing. I think adoption's increasing. I think the dynamics are simply changing as there's more adoption and more demand with gaming NFTs and just everything going on. We have so many more people holding long term than we used to in the previous cycles, and it's only our adoption is only increasing every day. So let's keep an eye on it. Like I said, don't be scared, don't be surprised if we don't punch through this 18-cent level immediately and make a push toward an all-time high right away. Instead, look at those areas of value, set limit orders if you can, and our time will come. But until then, I will see you guys next time.